そして時は動き出す。
Now, that is how I wish Mystic worked. But we're stuck with this. I mean, it's not really at all what I want, but it feels close. It feels pretty fucking close. What is going on, my dudes? It's been a while since I've uploaded. I've been quite busy with the holidays, some D&D, and oh yeah, some writer's block, which caused some sleepless nights. But hopefully I'll be back in business now. And yes, this is gonna be my avatar from now on. I know using realm characters isn't really the most original idea, but my jokes aren't that original either, so just shut it. So to start this video, I just wanna take you guys down memory lane. Like everyone in the beginning, when I was a mere little blue star, I hated the Mystic. I was like, hey, wait a second. This isn't the wizard! And just never touched it again. Until a few years later, when I was going for my white star. I forced myself to get a 2k base fame Mystic. Just, get it done with. And I gotta say, it grew on me. It really grew on me. Like a barnacle. On my ass. In fact, it grew on me so much that it's currently my third favorite class in the game. By quite a margin, might I add. Well, I find almost all of the classes fun in the game. Alright, back on topic. So, what is a mystic? Well, according to Wikipedia, it's a person who practices mysticism. Well, I guess that means I'm practicing failurism. But in most fantasy settings, the mystic is referred to being a spellcaster who focuses a lot on the mind, body, time and space. All that good stuff. In Realm of the Mad God, however, it is one of the 3 staff classes in the game. And boy howdy do I love this girl. The main difference between her and the other staff classes is that her ability is not used to deal damage itself. Instead is used to increase the damage of her and her allies. Instead of using something like a spell or a skull, which does, flat out damage or heals in some cases, she uses a an orb that has the power of a no and curse. No, as in whenever you're in a dangerous situation, you just no. Oh, there's an enemy over there coming for you. No. Just no.
Oh, come on, let me touch you.
No!
Come on, please.
No!
Come on, just one touch.
Or you can just call it stasis like a normal person. So what stasis does is that it basically locks an enemy in place and it can't do anything and you can't interact with it for the duration of the stasis. Now this ability is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it's a literal lifesaver, like stasing a large horde of enemies to keep you safe, rendering bosses' defensive minions completely useless, and making stuff like the first room of Shatters a complete cakewalk by stasing everything in sight. But on the other hand, it can make fellow comrades
fucking despise you.
Like, seriously. It can go from, oh thanks Mystic, if it wasn't for that great stasis I would have been a goner, to in like 2 seconds. This usually happens when you stasis the wrong target. And as an avid Mystic player, I have to say, we fuck up, okay?
What a god of a gamer, seriously.
Like, most of the time it's just an honest mistake. Most good Mystics know what to stasis and what not to. But the bad Mystics... Ooh, the fucking bad Mystics. These guys have a tendency to piss everyone off. Even I, who would defend Mystic until I'm dead, can get pissed off by these guys. They stasis anything with a health bar that they shouldn't. Like Liches, Megamoth, Tomb Bosses, and the infamous Janus chest.
It's mine.
A bit of an editor's note here. So this script was written before the Christmas update, which added stasis immunity to stuff like Liches, Ghost Kings, and Ancients, which kinda happens to be some of the biggest offenders to being accidentally stasis by a Mystic. Which, honestly, great job, Deka. Thank you for finally making the Mystic less likely to be hated. Oh, what am I saying? It won't change shit. It'll probably piss off people that they gave Mystic some attention instead of just deleting it. Alright, back to the video. But the main reason most bad or new Mystics do this is to apply the Mystic's trademark debuff, the Curse. A target who is affected by Curse takes 20% more damage, which is a really noticeable damage increase. Like, you're killing things 20% faster, and there are like no or next to no enemies that are immune to it. Like, it's really good. It's just the main way of applying it which can be confusing to new players, since you want to spam your orb to apply Curse and get Berserk. Oh yeah, did I mention that the Mystic gains Berserk when you use your orb as well? This gives the Mystic about 50% more damage. How would you not want to spam that? Like, seriously, you would be a fucking idiot not to. Roses are red, violets are blue, I got a gun, get in the van. Now, I'm not a great Mystic by any means, but I do consider myself pretty good. But my friends would probably say I'm shit. I'm talking to you, Melee, you cheeky c***. But I do have some good tips for those of you who want to learn how to play this class and not get shat on by every player who witness you press a spacebar. Number 1. You don't have to use the orb right on top of an enemy to curse it. The curse radius on the orb is way bigger than the stasis radius. Like, if the stasis radius was a pepperoni, the curse radius is your mother's areola. A very simple trick is to use the orb right on top of yourself. This makes sure you stasis nothing important, and you stasis everything around you, and you still get the Berserk. Like, with max wisdom and a tier 6 orb, you can hit enemies off the screen for the curse using this method. Sure, it can be tricky to aim properly sometimes, but it's just really a thing you have to get used to, and it helps a fuck ton not to get flamed. Number 2. Learn what to stasis, and what not to. Now, since it can be a bit daunting to just go on Realmai and look up every boss or important enemy and see if they can be stasised or not, there is a way more simple way to figure this out. Get yourself to a boss or a quest master, doesn't really matter, and try to stasis it once. If it doesn't get stasis, then good, you don't have to worry about it. If it does get stasis, look down in the chat. If everyone is flaming you or saying anything related to Deka should delete the Mystic, then just don't stasis it again. Simple as that. Number 3. Learn the stasis radius. With this one, you just have to practice. Like, there's really no other way. Just practice where no one would mind it, like... Actually, there's no place people wouldn't mind it. So just fuck it. Like, I swear, even if you use the orb on those fucking training dummies in the guild hall, guild would probably fucking complain. Number 4. Try to get your hands on some of the UT orbs. Now, I would still consider the T6 orb to be the overall best orb for most situations, but it doesn't really hurt to have options, you know? So I'm just gonna go through the UT orbs and tell you where to find them, what they do, and what situation you should use them in. The Orb of Sweet Demise. You find this in a hive, it's absolute garbage, just don't fucking get this one. Like, the only benefit it has is that it slows, but the slowing radius is smaller than its stasis radius. So, it's just fucking garbage. Don't get it. And now for the Orb of Aether. This little beauty can be found in the mountain temples, and I have to say it's a really good utility tool. So how this orb works is that it throws up a so-called Aether trap that summons 2 radiuses. One smaller inner radius and one outer larger radius. The inner one paralyzes and the other one slows. This makes it excellent for crowd control, as you can imagine. Pretty much you use this anywhere where you need some crowd control and stasising is too big of a risk. For Megamoth as an example, I mean, nothing can go wrong, to be honest. Now, if we're gonna talk about the Enchantment Orb, I just have to mention that this one is not that good, but it has its uses, I guess. The unique ability of this orb is that it emits its curse from your cursor and the stasis radius from your character. This makes it virtually impossible to fuck up stasising, since the only time you will stasis something is when it's right next to you. So honestly, you stay at a distance and throw out curses and you'll be fine. Just remember that you won't get the Berserk, so you won't get the damage bonus. So if you know how to curse properly, this one is pretty much useless for you. Now, the Orb Conflict is a pretty difficult one for me to describe, since I've never had it, since, you know, shit's rare, what can I say? Realmai says it essentially turns you into a devastating killing machine for a few seconds. Which, I guess it kinda does. I mean, with a cooldown of 0.5 seconds, it gives you a stasis on enemies for 7 seconds, speedy, and damaging. Which, yeah, that is a lot of DPS. But it doesn't have the cursing ability, so you should probably use this one if your party already has another Mystic and a Warrior. If you're luckier than me, you can get this as a drop from the Skull Shrine. And now for the last orb, Solid the Bearer. Personally, the only use I've found for this orb is traveling towards event bosses on foot and rushing wine cellars. This is thanks to the speed buff the orb gives you. Now, even though it gives you Berserk as well, I don't really find it that useful for just bossing and stuff, so I suggest just keep it going fast. Now for this one I also kinda have to talk about the ST set this orb belongs to, which drops from Phylactery Bearers. The set itself is pretty meh. I mean, it's not that good, but all parts of it except the staff is pretty good. They all have their uses, Solace being a really good defensive robe, and the ring being a fairly useful choice for sorcerers thanks to its high wisdom stats and some other bonuses. So yeah, the only robes I really recommend you get as swap outs are Aether and Conflict / Bearer. Since if you have Conflict and gives you the speed buff, you don't need the Bearer. Simple as that. Number 5.
Don't fucking Stasis Megamoth or Bill Watcher's parrots, or I will beat you harder than I beat my meat to traps.
Yeah, sorry about that. So the main point of this video was to allow me to rant a bit about the Mystic, and maybe encourage you guys to play it. It is by far one of the most fun classes to play in the game, so I actually really encourage you guys to play it, and hopefully my tips will help you. And I also kinda just wanna say that, please just stop hating on the Mystic so much. I personally don't mind the shit I get for fucking up as a Mystic, but other people might, and I just hate the idea of people being discouraged to play a class just because they do a mistake. It's the same for every other class. You just have to learn to play it. It just kinda sucks that Mystic gets punished way more harder for fucking up. So, the next time you see a Mystic fuck up a Stasis, just observe for a bit. If it was a single mistake, don't blame. Mistakes happen. If it's repeated offenses, then yeah, I can't really defend that. I agree with you, it's fucking annoying as shit. This video was a fucking ordeal to make. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it at least. Alright, we're done here. See you boys later. Oh, and my next video will definitely not take this long, I promise you.